gave a standing ovation to both teams after that bout. You know, they've got heavy hearts as once again Northampton has won this match. Oh, what a tradition. What a rivalry.
And they'll do it in less than a week, probably again.
Smith has Musselman in trouble on the edge of the mat.
Let's introduce the combatants here. Zach Musselman, a junior, 13-4 against Matt Smith, the senior, 14-3.
Smith wants to prove something here, getting decked in Christmas City. He wants to come out and show that that's not the real Matt Smith. I've been impressed with Matt Smith. I've been very impressed with Zach Musselman. He's beat some quality opposition. When you didn't expect either team to have a hammer this year, they both got one.
And we have a little excitement here in the press box as it's starting to fall apart.
It's still alive, I think.
Don't know what went on there. A small earthquake or what? It's just the whole place is falling down.
The left side of the press box started to go, and that has forced us to lose Jack's microphone, so we'll get Jack on at the end here with a headset. And in fact, as this bout continues, I want to take a moment to thank Jack Logic, because Jack I called this morning where Scott realized that he was going to be tied up in a business meeting, and Jack came, and being not only the great guy that he is, but the gentleman that he is, he helped us prepare. He was already a huge takedown by Musselman. 2 and 3, and then we have an injury.
It could be the knee of Smith again, as there was a lateral drop. It's 2 points for the takedown, 3 points because near fall criteria had been met. Although they're not paying any attention at all to Smith's knee.
And I'll finish the thought. Jack came here tonight fully prepared to do the entire match. Scott came dashing in here about 25 minutes before the match actually began. And Jack never wavered. He said, Scott's the man to go on, and we appreciate that. Jack did a terrific job helping us out here.
It is the knee of Smith as he's limping rather badly.
Nothing is the score.
My understanding was that it was a torn ligament in the knee of Smith. I haven't heard any update to that, but you'd figure torn means he doesn't wrestle.
This has been a great one, as expected. It certainly lived up to its billing.
And when you read the write-ups, you're going to read that the bout was 152.
Yeah, all the talk about the coin toss, it wasn't the coin toss.
It was the Davis toss in the first period of Ben Dooley. There's your hero.
All right, and Jack's back, and Jack, come on back.
I'm back. I thought there was 3 key bouts before Umstead, and 2 of the 3 went to Northampton, and that made the 4th one the one that won it. Like Huff won the big one at 135, where we thought Mo had changed to Nazareth. But at 152, as you guys said, Davis was the key one, and then Gumlock clinched it at 160.
Yeah, it looked like a huge win at the time by Justin Huff over Chad Gerstenberg. Escape for Smith. He's moving around the side now, looking for a cradle.
5-1 in favor of Musselman.
There's so many little things that Nazareth did right. All went up in smoke at 152 pounds.
As you guys are saying, 5 nights from now, we'll be at Liberty probably watching these 2 same teams. And if Nazareth can turn the tables, who knows what national rankings will be.
And that's the shame of it. I mean, as a Lehigh Valley wrestling fan, you want to see as much recognition for the Valley as we can possibly get. And that means one team has to beat the other twice. You really hate to see that because they're both such great teams, great programs, great traditions, great fans. But to get the recognition that we deserve, apparently, somebody has to go undefeated.
So it looks like. And can you imagine Saturday night, 13 revenges?
Do you believe that the district duels is somewhat anticlimactic, or can we create the crescendo one more time?
Boy, you know, we never have been able to create that. It always has been anticlimactic. I would think, why is it any different? I think the only reason it's different is because North Schuylkill's in there. I'm very high on North Schuylkill this year. I was impressed with them last year, and they've got 10 out of 13 back. And I think the other wild card in there is that Nazareth does have 4 matches in a row this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's a tough week for anybody, including Northampton tonight, Penn Argyl Wednesday. 2 tough matches along the way. So, boy, a tired Nazareth squad, a fired-up North Schuylkill squad, you really don't know.
Scott, you think they'll be seated third for sure? Because the committee decides.
Yeah, and that's hard to say also. Do you see North Schuylkill ahead of Easton, I guess, is the question. And one of the schools in the semis will wrestle Nazareth. The other will wrestle Northampton. The 4th seed will wrestle, apparently now, Northampton, the top seed going in. So you would think, that Nazareth-North Schuylkill matchup might not come off.
Musselman gets a takedown and now leads 7-1. And how big would this match have been with a few things changing?
Well, if you change the right few things, it's a blowout for Northampton. So if you just want to pick and choose the few things to change, it would have been huge.
With Musselman working towards a major decision here, it's 7-1. Our final 2 minutes. And I'll tell you, not too many people have left Stabler Arena.
Yeah, still a good-sized crowd. I think the one thing that's not in this match that you see in a lot of matches is the most valuable wrestler. I like the fact that we don't give one in this match. I think it stands on its own merits. That always, I think, adds only a little bit to the big bouts. I think it would be a unanimous decision, as we had some nice defense by Smith. Unanimous decision, I think, and I'm speaking for all of us, maybe I shouldn't be, I like Jason Davis tonight.
You're not going to get any argument here. And I don't think you'll get any argument from Jack.
No, he was most outstanding and most valuable. Sometimes that award can get screwed up. Not use the word.
You're right.
Blaine was definitely the most valuable wrestler in Easton Peaburg match, but you can't compare him to Pete Ferreira or Eric Thompson, who were the most outstanding people on the mat.
We have a nosebleed by Matt Smith. Replays of this tomorrow at 4 o'clock, Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And we thank all of our sports fans who have stayed with us through this evening. And I know we can count many, many of you for staying up late.
Gary, what time were you on Saturday, or what time are you guys? What time are you on?
Saturday night, we're on at 10 o'clock.
Okay, well, that be just the finals or semis and finals?
Just the finals.
Just the finals, okay.
Normally we dedicate coverage to both matches. To some extent, we'll probably stick to the AAA, I would think.
That will be our major concern, and we'll keep you up to date on the AA and bring you any of the excitement going on the AA match.
And if you're looking to the AA finals, I think we're looking at Penn Argyl Pine Grove, a much anticipated matchup in the AA ranks. Pine Grove thinks they have the best AA team in the state.
And if you're coming to see it live, it starts at 7 o'clock, an hour earlier than normal, 7 o'clock.
The semifinals come on at 1:30, so for those fans who want to see both.
You got a long day.
And you may want to come about 4 in the morning to find a place to park.
Yeah, they got to get some snow out of there. It's over at Liberty Gym. We mentioned Nazareth's JV win, 37-17. Gary, Nazareth JVs have racked up an incredible season this year. A dominating win over Northampton tonight. And that seems to be the case every year with the Nazareth JVs.
32 seconds left in this tremendous evening of high school wrestling. 7-1 in a great venue here at Stabler Arena. And a huge crowd on hand. Every ticket that was available was sold. And it's a credit to the Valley, a credit to these two schools. And it couldn't have been a much better night of high school wrestling.
It's a credit to the diligence of the athletic directors.
Yeah.
I think as much as anything.
That is for certain. It's interesting, Mike Schneider talking to him, the AD at Northampton. This is the Nazareth home meet. Northampton gets absolutely no money from this meet at all. And Mike has devoted almost his entire personal life to putting this meet together.
These Boston and Peterboroug's just the opposite. They split it half and half every year at Kirby.
Well, here you get greedy every other year.
Yeah, that can get the sports budget real healthy in one night. Takedown for Smith.
7-3. So it looks like we're going to end up 22-18. Warning for stalling against Musselman, and the Nazareth fans were not pleased.
That's just frustration. Yeah. It's been a long night of great wrestling. There were so many close bouts. Northampton in some of them, Nazareth in some of them. Just a phenomenal night of high school wrestling.
Musselman gets an escape at the end. It ends 8-3, 22-18, the final score. And Northampton continues on in dual meet competition, their 43rd straight. Back in 1992, they lost to the Nazareth Blue Eagles, 32-20. A final thought, Scott Barr.
Well, obviously, we came into tonight expecting the best in high school wrestling. Would it live up to the billing? Indeed, it did. We came in looking for a lot of close bouts. That's what we got. We came in looking for a hero. Jason Davis served that role rather nicely. It's a night that Lehigh Valley wrestling fans are not going to forget, certainly until the next Nazareth-Northampton matchup.
You are absolutely correct, and that's only 5 days away, I guess. Jack, final thought.
Well, thanks for having me, and I think it went the way I thought it was. It's going to be 7-13. I had a 4-point Northampton win, but I was off in bonus points, way off. But these two teams can go at it Saturday, and it can change just like that.
It might come down to just one bout going one other way, and it could be a Nazareth victory.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for putting up with me another night. And you, Scott, have done a great job as usual.
Jack, we appreciate you coming over, and Scott, we appreciate you breaking the speed laws in Pennsylvania to get yourself here. And again, Scott and I will see you on Wednesday night, as we'll be at Nazareth again. And one wonders the psychological problem Nazareth may have in getting themselves back up to take on Penargent.
Well, yeah, that's one thing working in Penargel's favor. Nazareth has a match between now and then. I really think Nazareth has too much firepower even for that. You look forward more to Saturday. I think both these teams have that problem of getting up for that match. This was the big one. This is the one everybody was aiming for. That one comes down to sheer guts. You throw the two mats out there, and you throw the guys out there, and you say, you know, go at it, and let's see what happens. I think more important to these teams is the individual district tournament to see what kind of tournament team they have. We know they have two of the top dual meet teams in the country. Well, now the rankings come down to tournament teams. I think both these teams, as opposed to last year, I didn't think they were incredibly strong dual meet teams. I was dead wrong. Northampton state champs, Nazareth third in the state. I think they're even stronger dual meet teams this year. I like both their chances all the way through.
All right, and we'll see how they go all the way through. We thank you for watching tonight, for staying up late with us. We appreciate, as always, your patronage of Twin County Cable 4 Sports. Thanks to Scott Barr. Thanks to Jack Logic. Scott Spielman's been our director. Our crew doing a terrific job getting over here at Stabor today and getting things all ready for you. So for everybody, I'm Gary Laubach, and we'll see you next time right here on Cable 4 Sports.
See a replay of the Northampton-Nazareth match again tomorrow evening at 8 p.m., followed by exciting Colonial League action, Nazareth and the Penargel Green Knights. That's tomorrow evening right here on Cable 4 Sports.
Matchup features the Phillipsburg State Liners under head coach Rick Thompson, as they'll take on the Nazareth Blue Eagles. They are coached by Ray Nonamaker. There certainly are national ramifications on hand here tonight as Nazareth comes in the number 2 team in the nation. Phillipsburg comes in as the number 7 team in the nation. Scott, this should be a great, great night of wrestling. I'm Gary Laubach. This is Scott Barr.
It should be great. We have the top match in the country. You got 2 of the top 10 teams anywhere, and it should. They certainly deserve that ranking, both of them. You don't always say that. Payberg, a lot of good starters back. Nazareth certainly has proven themselves year after year after year. A lot of great starters back. The fans will be here. The place will be packed. It'll be loud. It'll be great wrestling.
Nazareth comes in with already having 5 dual meets under their belt. Phillipsburg, on the other hand, has just had a tournament this weekend, one in which they did absolutely outstanding, putting 10 people into the finals. Any advantage to Nazareth because they have been in the dual meet situation?
I don't think so. In fact, maybe a disadvantage because they wrestled a close dual meet last week. Maybe they had to rethink that match for a day or two instead of concentrating on Phillipsburg. So maybe that weighs out with the fact that Peterborough just started their season.
Rick Thompson, we know, is a tremendous competitor. He's been kind of low-key about his team, but nobody else has. They've been talking about this team as perhaps even a little bit better than anybody else in the East Penn Conference. What was his attitude? I know you talked to him.
Rick was very accommodating, very friendly, very outgoing, just unlike Rick normally is on a match night. I think he feels real good about this year's team. I think he likes the talent level. He likes the guys that he has back. He feels very comfortable. Came off a great tournament, as you said, 10 guys in the finals. And while that tournament may have been a little bit weak, it's tough to put 10 guys in the finals of any tournament. So certainly, Peterborough's loaded.
Nazareth, of course, you already mentioned. A close win, but a win over Easton. Easton may very well be a little bit better than people thought they were. Ray Nonamaker's reaction to that night of wrestling?
A lot of positives about that night, which was surprising to me. I've seen Ray get a loss like that and then be really upset with it and really vengeful, wants to get back into the wrestling room and work on some things. Ray took it very much in stride, and I don't know if that drifted over to the kids or not. I know some of them knew that they didn't have great performances like they could have. Maybe they were looking ahead to this match.
All right, let's take a look at our matchups, our first three weight classes of the evening. Brett Marino made weight, so that's good news for Phillipsburg.
Yeah, Joey Edwards was 8 pounds over, so it's a real good thing Marino made weight, and you got to like Marino's chances. Vitale just hasn't proven himself yet. He's a little small for the weight class.
Andy Cody's impressed us, but I don't know whether he's going to be able to impress Pete Peretta.
Yeah, Pete Peretta, returning state champ. Andy Cody just proved himself last week that he can compete at this weight class, but he's the kind of guy that if Pete Peretta is serious about a second championship, can't have any trouble with whatsoever. Look for Pete Peretta, look for bonus points.
119 could be a big match tonight.
Real good matchup. Brian Tasner has proven himself again to be a great wrestler. Mike Coyle also great wrestler, great matchup. Peterborough likes their chances here, so look for Coyle to have a great outing.
All right, we move to 125, 130. These appear to be critical matchups for both schools.
Yeah, 25 with Topping and Wardlow. Topping a huge 25-pounder, just real tall, but not a great performance against Easton. You look at 130, Hoff, one of those guys that hides in the background, a big 30-pounder. He grows to about 140 in the offseason. So, yeah, if you have two key matchups back-to-back, these are it.
We've talked about how great Nazareth is in the middle. We look at 135, 140, and 145. Is this all Blue Eagles?
Could be. 35, certainly. Dan Tasner, he's a pinner. He should pick up bonus points. We saw a real quick pin against Easton. Travis Spencer did not prove himself early in the season. At 40, Mark gets bad outing against Easton. See if he can come back here. 145, Dave Cody should go, but that could also be Ben Dooley.
All right, we go to 152 and 160. We think Dooley is going to wrestle here, and Dodo is going to wrestle here. And again, it looks like Nazareth on top.
Dooley and Dodo, both outstanding wrestlers. Dooley could go at 45. He weighed in there. If he goes at 45, it'll be Cody. Look for either of them to win at 52. At 160, Travis Dodo against Dan Huff. Yeah, Dodo, one of those outstanding juniors in the Lehigh Valley. A lot of good juniors. Dodo is at the head of the class.
Last three weight classes, Nazareth would like to have this one all over by the time we get to this point. Jeremy Reed may sneak in there for Phillipsburg at one of those weight classes, although we think it's going to be Garcia, DeFrancisco, and Hosbach. Any thoughts about the last three?
Peterborough could win them all. In fact, they could win the first 5 weight classes, too, although Nazareth is slightly favored in several of them. You could look at a Peterborough sweep of the first 5 and a sweep of the last 3, and this match is over. Pete Eckhart has not proven himself in big matches. He's an outstanding wrestler, but just has not come through. In fact, against Easton, he lost outright to a guy that he should beat, Blaze Clymer. So, yeah, he is beatable there, and I think Peterborough knows it, and I think Garcia knows it. The last 2 weights, they're favored, so you could look at it at a Peterborough sweep of the last 3 weights.
Who do you see picking up the bonus points tonight?
I think both teams will pick up some bonus points. Certainly, Peterborough matches up with their absolute blue chip guys, but I think Dan Tasner's got to be responsible for pulling some of that back to Nazareth.
All right, we certainly have it here tonight. We've got East Penn Conference ramifications here tonight. Certainly, perhaps the best team in Jersey and the best team in Pennsylvania, and perhaps one of the best teams in the entire nation. We'll see what happens. It's Nazareth taking on Phillipsburg. We'll have the first bout right after this timeout.
Tired of the same old boring New Year's Eve house party? This year, take a walk on the wild side. Call your cable operator and party with the king, Howard Stern. Invite Howard into your living room this New Year's Eve on pay-per-view. Or go back to the same old tired house party. Howard Stern's New Year's Eve party, live on pay-per-view.
Find out which one of these girls is a man. We are back, Gary Laubach and Scott Barr. We've got a huge crowd on hand here tonight for this independent matchup as we look at Gene Wass and Scott. A rather interesting story. Gene was not supposed to be here. They were going to share all the big matches this year, and you tell the story.
Well, Doug Kalina was supposed to have it, a real solid official, and we're making light of it. Doug Kalina in the hospital with a blocked colon, of all things. And we'll be there until well after Christmas, from what we understand. So our best wishes certainly go out to Doug Kalina, but bottom line, he stuck this one to Gene.
Gene got a phone call last night, sitting down and relaxing. And in fact, when we saw Gene tonight, we thought he was just here for a nice, relaxing evening of spectating. Not the case. Gene Wass has the bout. 103 pounds. For Phillipsburg, Brett Marino, a sophomore, 0-0 on the year. He could not make weight for the weekend tournament against Chris Vitale, a freshman, who is 1-4 on the year. And the other 103-pounder for Phillipsburg, Joey Edwards, still has not made 103 pounds. In fact, he was 8 pounds over, I think, tonight. Marino gets the takedown. He leads by a 2-0 score.
I don't think he was 8 pounds over on purpose. I think he probably came in at 3 over at about maybe Monday night. He was 3 over, couldn't make it Tuesday, and then said, forget it. I'm going to weigh in at 12 anyway.
Yeah, nothing like a little bit over in wrestling. If you're over, you're over. Might as well have a cheesesteak.
And you might as well be able to compete at 12 if that's where the coach needs you, rather than trying to suck down to 3 all week and maybe being weak as he came in. He came in at a strong, actually 110 3/4 exactly.
Well, we may see Joey Edwards. We don't expect to see him, but we may. And Vitale is coming out. He does escape. So it's a 2-1 Marino lead here as we've wrestled 1 minute tonight in what should be an action-packed night of wrestling.
Of course, Vitale comes at the weight from the other side. He's a small 103-pounder. At least he looks it. Has looked small all year long. Just a freshman, of course.
Oh, beautiful. Duck under.
That's what happens when you lead with your elbows out, as Vitale did. Marino shot right under it. Marino, obviously very quick, gets the takedown.
Phillipsburg would love to pick up some bonus points here at 103 pounds. Rick Thompson right up there on the edge of the mat, doing some talking to his wrestler.
Yeah, they got the benches pretty far off the mat here tonight, maybe 12 feet off the mat. I think you'll see both coaches floating toward the mat.
Not quite like the pit, is it?
A little more wide open than the pit. That, of course, is a sore subject for Rick Thompson. 20 seconds ago, Vitale looking to score more points off the bottom. Marino unable to hold on to him as he allows another escape, and it's not one of those allowed escapes. He wanted to keep Vitale down, especially with just 10 seconds to go in the period.
But understand, if we were at the pit, there'd be 2,000 less people and about 1,500 fewer Nazareth fans. End of the first period, Brett Marino leads Chris Vitale by a 4-2 score. See Marino with that headgear, which indicates he probably has a broken nose.
In fact, I wore a headgear just like that one, Gary, for about 9 matches my senior year. It's because I had a contusion over my eye that was bothered when it got hit, so that can be for any number of ailments. That's going to be an escape for Marino. But once you get used to that mask, and there are a few things to get used to, not the least of which is your blocked vision, it's a little bit more difficult to breathe in there. But if Marino's been working out with it all year long, he's well used to it by now. It only takes a week or two.
Scott got a lot of beauty in the B-States when he was wearing that mask. The trouble was he was the beauty. 30 seconds into the second period, 5-2 Marino. He got the escape on the edge of the mat.
one real advantage to it is any cross-face holds that Vitale tries to put on to avoid a takedown, they don't have nearly as much effect with the mask on.
You'll see a very animated Rick Thompson all night long. I've seen pictures of him where he's about 12 feet off the ground on occasion.
Yeah, he's a jumper.
Off the mat they go. They'll come back to the center. Marino with 2 takedowns and an escape. Vitale with 2 escapes.
As you would expect for a match this close to Christmas, a lot of ex-wrestlers are in from college and have made free time and have added to this crowd. And I think, Gary, you mentioned I think it's right about 3,000 people.
Place to be tonight if you're a wrestling fan. Oh, Thompson only up about 6 feet on that call. He'll come back to the center as they remain neutral.
Vitale doing a good job defensively, but has not taken a shot yet. Gene Wass, talking to us before the match, said he should have probably given out more stalling warnings during the Easton match. He may be looking to give one out here, because Vitale just has not been active offensively from neutral. He's been blocking a lot, doing exactly this. Now he's going to get taken down.
Marino's 3rd takedown of the bout. Marino now leads by a 7-2 score. Vitale, of course, trying not to give up bonus points. And has not been able to solve Marino's move so far.
Vitale looking to score again late in this period. Unable to get the head out.
Tonight's wrestling match is brought to you by Rarick Dodge. With over 60 years of sales and service experience, Rarick Dodge offers a full line of quality Dodge products like the Caravan, the Intrepid, Spirit, and Shadow. With trucks like the Dakota, Ram vans and wagons, and the exciting new Ram pickup. Rarick Dodge is located just minutes north of Route 22 on Route 512 in Bath. Remember, for a clean deal, come to Bath, come to Rarick Dodge, and everyone at Rarick Dodge would like to wish the viewers of Twin County Cable 4 Sports a safe and happy holiday season and a prosperous new year. And we wish all the folks at Rarick Dodge a happy holiday also. They've been with us throughout our sports for a number of years. Always very consistent and part of our high school sports package. We thank them for that. Marino trying to pick up some back points, can't do it.
Was unable to hold on to Vitale in the first period, but now has the legs in, and they seem to be a mystery to Vitale. He doesn't know quite how to get out. You would think Marino, with those long legs, would wrap them in there, but he just started doing this. Really looks very thin. One of those tall, wiry guys. Very tall also. It might give you a clue why he has trouble making it to this weight class.
So Rick Thompson glance at the scoreboard and start trying to add some things up to get his wrestler some bonus points here. Marino leads by 5. And Vitale escapes, 7-3.
Nazareth coach is asking Vitale to shoot. Anytime you ask a freshman to do that, it's a little dangerous because he'll just take any shot, not be careful. This time he's forced to lock in the crotch and not shoot at all, but just defend against Marino. He's taking time off the clock, trying to shorten this match.
And he's hauling glance right up at the clock.
He's feeling pretty good, only down 4 at this point. He's willing to take off as much time as he needs.
Marino takedown, 9-3.
Vitale again with that switch. There's the reversal. That's a big one.
That sort of negates bonus point possibilities unless something very dramatic happens now in the final 20 seconds.
You wonder what effect the weight loss has had on Marino as he came in heavily favored
You mentioned the benefit of the experience, Gary. Vitale has those 5 varsity matches experience. Marino does not. But you want the freshman now to hang on. He asked Coach if he wanted to let him up. All 4 coaches jumped to their feet and said, no, keep him down.
It was a unanimous decision, by the way.
They want to see Chris Vitale again take off as much time as he can. He took 10 seconds off.
Marino's going to win it, but he's not going to pick up bonus points. And you see the Nazareth fans on their feet cheering their wrestler. Marino wins by a 10-5 score. Phillipsburg goes up by a 3-0 team score. We move to 112 pounds. For Phillipsburg, it'll be Pete Peretta, a senior, 3-0 on the year, an outstanding wrestler. We'll take on Andy Cody, a freshman. And Cody has been nothing short of outstanding so far this year also. He is 4-0.
Mentioned at the top of the show, Peretta, that returning state champ. A lot of wrestling fans in the Twin County area will say, well, that's in Jersey. But I'll tell you what, Pete Peretta will put on a real good show for you here tonight. Cody remembered decking Jamal Billman of Easton, as Billman had proven himself to be one of the more exciting 12-pounders. Cody decked him, so he is a decent wrestler, has proven that early this year. But I fully expect Pete Peretta to dominate this match, as he is the senior and has all the experience, and he gets the first takedown.
Cody may be a real surprise by the end of the year, Scott. He looks like he is just going to be great.
I think by the end of the year and by the end of his career, as he makes a dumb move there, he gets stripped and turns in. Turned right into the cradle by Peretta. I think Peretta surprised a few people last year as he won the state championship. Too late to surprise them this year. They're expecting big, big things from Peretta all the way through the state tournament.
And again, Phillipsburg kind of hoping for some bonus points here.
Yeah, I think Seaburg demanding bonus points here. They want to see Pete Peretta turn Andy Cody over a couple of times. They want to see a pin. They think Pete Peretta is that dominating kind of wrestler. Obviously the champion of the 100 in Warren County tournament. Won by major decision in the finals. There is a cradle. It's a lower leg cradle. He steps over it. He only picked up 1 count on the back points, and in fact is losing control of Andy Cody. Andy Cody takes a foot in the face as they go out of bounds. A real nice defensive effort by Andy Cody.
He's been in trouble a couple of times, but both times, Scott, he's been on the edge of the mat.
Looks real wiry. It looks like Peretta can't lock up a very, very tight pinning hold. As that lower leg cradle is one of the more dangerous. This time Peretta trying to step into a Turk ride is not going to get it. Gives up the escape. And the takedown. He's going to try and roll through that. Cody almost with the takedown.
Score remains 2-1. And that's the way the first period will end.
Nazareth fans, of course, know what this bout means. They know Peretta heavily favored, and they are very excited about the effort by Andy Cody.
Scott, how difficult is it for a wrestler to come out knowing he is supposed to pin? Does it get the adrenaline flowing sometimes a little bit too much and you just aren't letting things happen?
I think if you come out thinking you're supposed to pin, you're either going to pin or you're not going to win by a lot, because you're trying to lock up that one good hold and you're worried about pinning rather than scoring points. We've seen many times that very good wrestlers aren't way ahead on the scoreboard, and they're only 1 move away from actually getting beat. I think Pete Peretta is a victim of a little bit of that here. If he gets 1 good pinning hold locked up, I think we'll see a pin. He allows the escape here.
2-2 tie.
But I think you're right. You've got to go out there, win big first, and then get the pin later, as Peretta gets a nice barrel roll takedown. He keeps the arm. He's going to try and turn Cody over with that arm. Now he's trying to hand it through. Steps into the Turk ride a little too quickly. Cody's trying to step over. Peretta's getting a little sloppy out there. Missed the cradle there.
by Cody. Rick Thompson was looking for some stalling, and just as he was screaming it, Cody escaped.
This is one of those bouts, Gary. Peretta absolutely dominating this bout and only had 4-3. Now he'll pick up a 4-pointer as he gets a takedown with a Peterson roll. Now they're on the edge of the mat. So the 2-point takedown, I'm not sure if Gene Wass signaled more than once. Now he will, as they're on the red part. 3 back points are imminent.
Whoa, Cody's going to get her escape.
3 back points.
No,
Peretta, no escape. So now Pete Peretta can feel very confident. He is 2 moves ahead, 2 big moves ahead. This is Gene Wass timeout, bloody nose. First time I've heard a bloody nose booed.
We talked a little bit to Gene tonight, and that was one of our topics of conversation, the bloody nose, because that is going to create some boos this year, Scott, because of the way the rule reads.
Anytime you get blood on the mat or on your opponent, the match is stopped. And the key there is no matter what. If you're pinning a guy and he's a half-inch away from being put down for the count and you bleed on him, that's it. You stop the bout.
Can you imagine the whistle being blown on a critical fall because of a bloody nose? And we know Nazareth has a bleeder.
Yeah, Tasner's going to bleed all year. Brian Tasner is. And that happened. A bloody nose is the kind of thing you've got to let that bleeding vein soften up throughout the year. And if it just bleeds every Thursday and every Tuesday and then in between during practice, it's going to keep hardening up rather than softening up. And, I mean, if you bleed badly, you're going to bleed every bout.
32 years that guy's been through the wars here at Nazareth.
Another good barrel roll for Peretta after the allowed escape. And now he's going to try and snap the head down. He's not going to get it. Cody's going to circle around behind for 2.
But Cody closes it to 9-6.
And it's going to be an illegal hold. A full Nelson against Cody. He was trying for the overhead double armbar. Ray Nunemaker is going to call Gene Wass over. So it's a takedown, Cody. Penalty point to Peretta.
All right, let's discuss what Ray Nunemaker is going to talk.
Ray's calling a wrestler over. He's going to say to Gene, he was doing this. He was doing this. And he didn't touch him on the head. Gene says no, he touched him on the head.
And that gets the crowd a little excited. And we will try to get another look at that and decide whether Gene was right or Ray was right. A couple of guys I wouldn't normally disagree with at all.
Gene has seen the move a lot of times. I mean, he knows when those hands touch the head, it's an illegal hold. Another Peterson roll for Peretta at the buzzer, no points whatsoever.
No points is correct. 10-6, Peretta over Cody. Here we go.
If the hands of Cody touch the head of Peretta simultaneously, that's a full Nelson, no matter what else happens. There's the takedown. Cody will come under the left arm as he has the right arm.
There, he certainly had the one hand. We couldn't see the
right
other.
There it is. They simultaneously touch right there. Good call, Gene Wass. Peterson roll as we join the action again. It's a 2-point reversal for Peretta. 12-6, and there'll be 3 back points at least. Peretta has shown a great variety of rolls here between the barrel and Peterson. Has scored a bunch of points off both of them.
3 near fall points. Gives him a 15-6 lead. He is now in bonus point territory as he is up by 9, but I think they would like to see more than 4. Team points. The escape by Cody, 15-7.
Headlock. Big headlock for Peretta. There is the takedown as the hips go over. Peretta leaning into it. Leaning too far into it. Nice defense by Cody. Good bridge. Peretta needs to pull back on the head. Just lift the head up, not pry into it. He's going to lift it up here. Gene Wass, you're looking at it the same way he is.
A lot of time. There it is. The fall comes at 5 minutes and 6 seconds. Phillipsburg goes up by a 9-0 score. Another look.
You'll see the correction here by Peretta as he will pick up on the head and sit into it. Rather than rolling over top of it, he now sits into it. See how he stretches his hips out there? That puts all the pressure on the shoulders of Andy Cody. Too much for the freshman.
119 pounds for Phillipsburg. Mike Coyle, a senior who has a takedown, 3-0 against Brian Tasner, the junior. Brian is 5-0 on the year, and Brian may have cut himself right above the eye, although Gene Wass looked in and I guess did not see blood.
Coyle came out on fire. He's going to try a lateral drop on Tasner. Tasner trying to stay within his game, trying to stay calm. Coyle can't go this hard for 6 minutes. We told you he was going to bleed.
You will see this often during this match. He has the bloody nose. As Scott said, it will occur in almost every one of his matches.
One way I started to avoid that, there is blood from the nose, you can see it. One way I started to avoid that, Gary, before the match, you actually take some Vaseline and wipe it inside there. We'll soften up those bleeders. They're working on his forehead, though. I thought we saw some blood from the nose.
I saw blood. There is blood coming from the nose also. And in fact, I think it's the bloody nose that stopped the match. The other injury is a typical boxer's injury, Scott. That little cut right above the eyebrow.
If I'm not mistaken, he had that in the Easton match, too. I think we saw a shot that he took and brushed either a knee pad or the mat or something. I think it's a mat burn type thing. The Peaburg coaches calling for the mat to be cleaned. This really gets bothersome even for Tasner. I think for a guy like Coyle who comes out on fire like that, it's going to bother him because he wants to keep that going. But for Tasner also, Tasner's too good a wrestler to want breaks every 30 or 40 seconds like he's going to have to take with a bloody nose.
Gene Wass discussing things with Rick Thompson. Rick's saying, I want to get home and watch the replay. He checks his watch.
Another way that was effective in stopping a bloody nose, and Mike Bertolino, who's in the crowd tonight, was the assistant coach at Wilson when I wrestled there. His favorite, being a bit of a sadist, was to take a nitro tan spray, which is used on cuts, spray it on cotton and jam it up my nose. Not real pleasant, but highly effective.
You were usually only out there for about 35, 40 seconds, Ori.
Enough time to bleed. Brian Tasner's fixed up.
For now, we would expect he will be back over on that sideline before this one is all over. Right now, he trails by a 2-0 score.
And Coyle's the kind of guy that'll do the lateral drops and the headlocks, and he'll go to the head a lot.
Tasner comes around, reversal.
And escaped Coyle. Rick Thompson, every time they go off the mat to that side, he's there. And sometimes when they're on the mat on that side, he's up there off the bench. That's not Ray Nunemaker style. Ray Nunemaker will stay on the bench mostly. Tasner going in for a head and trip.
He's off again.
That's a good one.
I wonder what it's like in the wrestling room for Tasner when he's practicing.
He's the kind of guy that would benefit by a mask, I think. It looks like every time it gets hit, it bleeds. If he'd wear one of the masks like we saw in Brett Marino at 103, maybe that wouldn't be the case. Maybe he also ought to look at something like getting it cauterized, which, again, isn't a pleasant experience, but that may settle it down a little bit.
John Gaughan giving us a shot I'm not even sure we want. Feel like I'm watching St. Elsewhere or something here.
Yeah, we've gone all of 36 seconds here, and we've already got 2 bleeding timeouts. Also, if the blood gets too excessive, Gary, the official can stop the bout and award the match to the other wrestler. I don't think we're in danger of that, and I don't think that will happen. But that is an option.
Scott, if you're the other wrestler and this kind of thing continues to occur in a match, how much does it bother you? How much does it affect your ability to keep yourself mentally in the match?
It affects the match, no doubt about it, and to stay in it mentally. I think Mike Coyle comes out and he wants to make a quick attack every time, and I think that helps in that because you can't keep that up for 6 minutes. You can keep it up at 30-second spurts like we've been doing here, but I don't think you can do it for a solid 6 minutes. Most of Tazner's bouts now are going to go something like 20 minutes on the clock, which it's almost impossible to stay up mentally for.
3-2 is the score. Takedown by Coyle, reversal by Tazner, and then the escape by Coyle. As we have 43 seconds to go in the first period. Seberg has jumped out to a 9-0 team lead.
Moving in for both legs. He's got the takedown. Now he's got to move up on it, take him out of bounds. Nice takedown.
4-3, Tazner. This is a very, very critical matchup here for both these teams, and it could give us some indication, Scott, who's going to win this thing tonight.
Yeah, I think Seberg needs 3 out of the first 5. They've got 2, and those were must-wins right away. But I really think they need 1 out of these next 3 to even have a prayer at winning the match. And this is certainly a key bout there, because really you look down the rest of the lineup, and Nazareth favored most of the way.
That's why the Nazareth fans were on their feet when Brett Marino loses by a 10-5 score. He was expected to get beat.
Brett Marino winning by the 10-5.
I mean, Vital got the standing O. He was expected to lose, but Nazareth fans happy that he didn't give up more than 3 team points.
Coyle was the 2nd champion in a row for the State Liners at this weekend's tournament. They had 4 in a row. And 7 overall.
Uniforms along for the ride. Coordinate with Esterhaus.
Never had a partner hit before, Captain.
I want this chump as bad as you do. No problems. You got my word.
Fascinating story in the morning paper here, Frank. About an ex-client of mine named Sonny Crockett being stashed persona non persona in the county morgue for the past 2 days.
Yes, it is fascinating.
Not that I was planning a memorial fundraiser, Frank, but any reason why I wasn't informed?
The continuing investigation of his former employer, Mo Feldstein. You'll find that story in column 1.
You're pretty good at keeping secrets. Since I'm no longer bound by client privilege, I'll let you in on one of mine. Right before Joe Coffey's grand jury hearing, I had a confession from Crockett in the Lynn Tatum homicide. Coffey might like to know he's off the hook.
Why don't you go tell him?
Fair enough. I thought we might have lunch today.
Come on.
How's now?
I'll make a reservation at the galley.
I was thinking more about room service. Hope you understand why I couldn't reveal Crockett's confession until now.
Now, this means I'm totally cleared in the Tatum death, right? No civil liabilities, no asterisk next to my name. I mean, it's over, right?
I'll notify the DA's office and Mrs. Tatum's attorneys within the hour.
You're damn for it. I mean, you don't know. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you know? The system works after all.
He's in deep.
Brian does not use the quarter Nelson that his brother uses. There is the takedown. Dan uses that very effectively. Brian looking for the Peterson roll. He's got the legs, and in reaching for the arm, gets it taken over his head and is threatened to be turned right now. He's going to hang on. No, he's not going to hang on to that leg. There is blood on the mat now. I think we're going to see more.
And again, we'll go to the side.
I think there is a misunderstanding of that rule among the fans, Gary. It has not been a well-publicized rule that when bleeding starts, wrestling stops. In the past, if bleeding had gotten excessive, that's when we'd stop the match.
I think this is where a PA announcer who's very knowledgeable in the sport could really help and simply explain what the rule is, and would take a lot of the attention, I believe, off the referee, Scott, and just simply explain that he has no choice here.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are not the decision of the referee. I go to something like an illegal slam, where if a guy can't continue, it's a default for the other team. The ref can't say, oh, he's not hurt, he's got to wrestle. You know, and a lot of the fans think he should say that. This is that same type of situation.
he doesn't have a choice. The rule says if he's bleeding, it stops. That's it. And they continue to work also on the right eyebrow of Tasner. He got hit there very early, a few seconds into the bout. And again, you can have as many stoppages for blood as are warranted. It has nothing to do with the injury clock.
And there is still no coaching allowed, just like any injury timeout. There is no coaching allowed on the Nazareth side. Rick Thompson now can coach all he wants, but on the Nazareth side, there is no coaching allowed.
So they come back to the center with Coyle leading by a 6-4 score.
Tasner, of course, has shown that Granby roll a number of times. I certainly would expect to see it again. Just gets up on his haunches and then just dives forward with it. Mike Coyle also used it and tried to work it for an escape at the end of the first period. Wasn't able to get it. Tasner instead was looking for the whizzer to hip into. Coyle moves out front looking for the headlock. Well, he must be real confident about that move. That's not one you just step up for just for kicks. If you don't get it, you're going to give up points, and it looks like Coyle will give up points here. I think you're going to see a one-point escape at least. We have 9 seconds to go.
There it is. Tasner now trails by 1, 6-5.
A couple of Freiburg wrestlers had stepped out to the front and tried something. That was just a little too late in the period, and the bout's a little too close for me to try that move.
Tasner now with the advantage of being on the bottom, trailing by only a point, should be able to tie it up with the escape, and then it'll come down perhaps to who gets that next takedown.
Very active from the bottom. He's turning in. He's waiting for a mistake by Coyle. Turns in and finds a leg, but he needs to have a base established, and he needs to get that right leg free. You see him trying to kick at the knee of Coyle. He's going to come out. He's going to look for a fireman's carry. Coyle was in a little bit of trouble briefly.
Coyle looking over at his head coach, trying to get a handle on exactly what he should do. It does look like Tasner's going to get the escape here eventually. I think he got it.
You may see escape, stalemate.
And we saw escape, stalemate. 6-6 tie.
Remember, we do have provisions for overtime. Coyle very quick off the whistle there. I don't know if he came to a full stop. I'd like to see if we can get another look at that, as this is going to be crucial. Coyle moving in for the takedown. But it looked like he jumped the whistle, never stopped moving as they came to the center.
Tasner defensed it pretty well. Now he gets taken down. And Rick Thompson says, just keep him down. I'll take the 8-6 win.
Tasner, of course, now looking reverse. Not enough time to go escape takedown. He gets it. That'll be 2. That's got to be 2.
Ray Nonemaker says there it is.
That had to be 2. I think it was a little late. I think Tasner was inside on both sides. Gene Wash is waiting for the situation to play itself out.
Scoreboard's wrong. It should be 8-8. Scoreboard has 8-6. It should be 8-8.
Gene Wash knows it is 8-8. They have fixed it on the scoreboard. 6 seconds to go. Remember, if we go overtime, it is sudden death.
Coyle trying to get out. We'll go on overtime. 8-8 tie. Another look.
We'll We'll take a real quick look at the replay as they're going to get up. Let's see if Mike Coyle stops on the line, Gary, or he just floats right through it.
He stopped first.
He did stop, yeah. He was very quick off the whistle. I think he was willing to take a caution in that situation if he had to, but it did work out for him. We're in a battle of takedowns right now. First takedown, first point wins this bout. Tasner in on the leg.
Tasner only has 1 takedown, Scott, whereas Coyle has 3 in the bout.
Yeah, Tasner was comfortable from the bottom. That's not going to help him here unless he goes scoreless for 2 minutes. They haven't gone scoreless for 2 minutes yet in this bout. Coyle now in on the leg. They go out of bounds.
Coyle knew he was in a position to get the takedown, and he's hurting a little bit.
We're going to get injury time.
And the Nazareth fans get a chance to boo.
Okay, you can't figure he needs a break after all the breaks we've had. But they're not working on anything either.
Might have been a little bit of frustration. He knew he was in for the takedown, and off the mat they went.
Yeah, when they come back for fresh starts, Mike Coyle has done well. He came off the bench immediately, had a takedown in the first 3 or 4 seconds of the bout. The fans realize the importance of this, obviously. The delay is Brian Tasner attaching his headgear. Tasner has had several neutral let-ups as he's allowed Coyle in, has gotten sloppy from his feet, just like he was there. Coyle was pounding on the head, and Tasner just stumbling forward instead of maintaining control. Coyle unable to take advantage of it there. There's a far knee trip. No takedown. There's the 2. Not yet.
Slipped it.
It will be, as Coyle's in great position. Tasner going for the spladle. Boy, tough to call this one.
There it is. Takedown by Coyle in overtime. He wins by a 10-8 score. Phillipsburg 12. Nazareth nothing. Another look.
I think Tasner just glad he didn't end up flat as he's reaching for the spladle here. Coyle stepping through it, trying to stack Tasner up. Well, he may have been flat there for a second. I think Tasner real glad he didn't get pinned there, just gave up the takedown.
Let's talk rule here for just a second. You can get the fall before you get the takedown because you didn't really have control, but it still could have gotten the fall.
Absolutely.
How big would that have been? At 125 for Phillipsburg, Ryan Wardlow, the senior's 3-0 against Sean Topping. The senior is 5-0. So Tasner suffers his first defeat of the season, as has Andy Cody tonight. And Topping would like to get the Blue Eagles on the board. They're being shut out right now by a 12-0 score.
We said at the top of the show, Peaburg could win the first 5 weight classes. They are that closely matched in 3 of them. They picked up a big upset. I said for them to have a chance, they'd need to win 3 of the first 5. They have done that. The question is, will they perform the rest of the way they're supposed to? And now the ball is certainly in Nazareth's court.
Stalemate, back to the center they come.
Lateral drop by Topping, can't make it count. Wasn't able to get his hips into that move at all.
And again, back to the center they come.
Topping this fall on a very successful Nazareth Blue Eagle football team in a position that's not typical for a wrestler. He was the kicker.
He and his brother shared the kicking duties.
Normally you talk about wrestlers on the football field and you're looking at a tailback or a linebacker. Maybe if you're talking about the heavyweight, you're looking at a lineman, but maybe the first kicker we've had on the mat.
Also an outstanding soccer player. And that certainly will help you in wrestling, keeping the legs in great shape.
Now there's the tie to both sports.
25 seconds. First period, no score. Stalemate again. We have not had a scoreless period tonight. This one is 5 seconds away from being our first.
After the Easton match, the Nazareth coaches were a little upset with their wrestlers that were wrestling up a weight class. That is most of the lineup. We're trying to muscle guys, which is what you saw Sean Topping doing most of the first period. But the truth is, he's probably the only guy that's not up a weight. He should be able to do that. Wasn't able to convert any of those lateral drops for takedowns.
So Topping takes the bottom and gets the escape.
So you can see there the height advantage that Sean Topping enjoys and will enjoy over most 125-pounders. He's a head taller than Wardlow. The problem with being that tall, Gary, you got to get your hips so much lower to get that leverage. Topping needs to be a little quicker on that. There was the snap spin. Looked like it was there before that. Wardlow was flat. Topping let him get back to a base. Made it count, but I think Ray would like to see that move happen a little more as one move rather than the two that you saw Topping.
Topping leads 3-0. No Nazareth wrestler has led after 2 periods so far. There's the escape by Wardlow. 3-1.
Topping probably not satisfied with his effort against Easton as he beat Tony Rosado 6-3. It was a very routine effort by Sean Topping.
Rick Thompson told Wardlow to go after Topping's right leg.
Rick is seeing something that I'm not seeing from here. Maybe he's seeing that Topping is leading with that leg. And he went after it just then and wasn't able to convert. In fact, he gets snapped again, and he's going to get taken down as this is the butt drag for Topping. No takedown yet. It must be on the mat. There it is.
Topping up 6-1. Make it 5-1.
Topping started the season with a tech fall and 2 physical falls and has since gotten back to the regular decisions. The last 2 have been just 6-1, 6-3.
22 seconds.
He has really settled in here.
Off the mat they go. Final 12 seconds of the second period. Escape takedown by Topping. Escape Wardlow and a takedown Topping. All the points scored here in the second period. 5-1. Sean Topping. And that will do it. So Topping in a good position to get Nazareth on the board, stop the bleeding a little bit for the Blue Eagles. And they'll try to put a run of their own together.
I think we have some bleeding on the part of Wardlow. Both these teams have a full week off, as you would expect with the Christmas vacation. Nazareth is next in action at the Christmas City tournament, which every coach that's involved with that tournament knows that you're going to find out what your team's made of when they get there. Peaburg next has a dual meet against Long Branch, but a lot of exciting wrestling left this year, starting next week, the 29th and 30th, with the Christmas City Invitational.
We've added a big basketball game for you. We're going to do it on Monday, January 3rd, but it will be on Tuesday, January 4th at 8:30. Notre Dame of Green Pond, under John Melhelm, will take on St. Anthony's of New Jersey. And yes, that is the team that featured Bobby Hurley and Danny Hurley. And Coach Hurley is their father. So Coach Hurley's still there. We'll have St. Anthony's against Notre Dame from Moravian College for you on Tuesday night, January 4th. And we'll follow that up with Allen against Whitehall. So that's our next basketball coverage. Wrestling, we have Sauk and Penn Argyl on January 5th coming your way. Penn Argyl having an outstanding early season. Jack Kubo's got his team at Easton tonight, back to take on his old alma mater.
There's the escape for Wardlow. If you saw the Express Times tabloid, the basketball wrestling preview, you saw that 5 Easton wrestlers have landed head coaching jobs. The Penn Argyl job went to ex-Easton wrestler Pete Stolzer.
Back to the center.
I think we mentioned during the Easton match, Topping's bout with Rosado. Topping really does have to score more points. He needs to open up. He's just one move away from Wardlow in this match. And Wardlow's certainly of the caliber that can throw that move. Wardlow, the champion of the Hunterdon Warren County Tournament. And Topping only up by 3, even though he appears to have dominated Wardlow up to this point. Wardlow unable to get anything going at all. A lot of Nazareth guys trying that trip. I haven't seen them do it a lot before, but we've seen it 3 times from 3 different wrestlers tonight.
Topping, more of a freestyle type wrestler. He tries to keep everything more upper body.
Yeah, pure upper body, of course, is Greco-Roman. But it looks like he's going for that sort of throw or something along those lines. Just hasn't been able to make it count, as he's only gotten 2 takedowns and an escape.
But he is within 21 seconds of getting Nazareth's first win here and putting them on the board.
Yeah, big bout for Nazareth that way. They do need to get on the board. They thought they had the opportunity in the last bout, and if they'd won the last bout, this bout, and the next bout, they'd be well on their way. They'll take the split in these 2 bouts.
It's going to do it. Sean Topping is going to win by a 5-2 score, get Nazareth on the board. 12-3 Phillipsburg. Stay with us. We'll be back at 130 pounds.
I got what you want. Do it. Too exciting for words. Order Cliffhanger on pay-per-view.
Twin County Cable, a world of choice. Twin County Cable, a world of choice. Twin County Cable, a world of choice. Twin County Cable, a world of choice.
You are watching the Lehigh Valley's Company of Choice, Twin County Cable 4.
130 pounds. Tim Flynn, the junior from Phillipsburg, 3-0 on the year against Justin Hoff, a junior from Nazareth, 5-0.